So, Jules, did you ever do anything in prison that you would have never imagined doing?
Well, of course, I never actually thought I'd be able to get fit, number one. But also, I did a bit of knitting.
With the needles, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't last long, but I did a bit of knitting.
What about you, Kev?
I never imagined educating myself. Yeah, so getting a degree at the end of it all was, something that I wouldn't have thought of. And my painting as well. I never set out to be an artist. It's something that's happened through going to prison.
Love that.
And Zach?
I played a football match against the army.
The actual army?
The army, but actual army serving boys.
Okay.
Yeah, man. We'd smash into each other. They could take it. They'd give it. It was good. But yeah, we lost that game, so I'm not happy about that. Hi, it's Zach and Jules back with another episode of Life After Prison. Today, we're joined by an international award-winning self-taught artist whose journey started on the council estates of Leeds to having his work featured across the UK and in Europe in multiple prominent exhibitions. Kevin Devonport, welcome to the Life After Prison couch. How you doing?
Nice to meet you both.
Thank you, man.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us today. On the couch, I like that addition.
On the couch. So let's get straight into it, Kev, yeah? Tell us about your art. For our audience listening, can you describe what kind of pieces you create?
Yeah, I'm in terms of an artist, I'm a painter, but oil painting completely now. Started off with acrylics. My subject matters, I like painting a lot of still life, but every now and again I throw myself off, deviate from it. I don't want to be like a one-trick donkey and just like you find some artists that's all paint one thing. But I throw myself off and do more subject matters, but I like still life a lot.
So break down still life for someone that doesn't know what still life is.
Still life, just any objects that not alive. So like a lot of my paintings will have things like Coke cans and crisp packets, all just anything, everyday objects.
Okay, that's cool, man. Talk to us why it's important about what's important about your art. What is like the kind of messages you put across with it?
I cover all aspects. A lot of it's autobiographical. Because I'm a bit like different as in terms of an artist. I get that a lot. When I go to an art exhibition, people say to me all the time, "You're not like an artist." So,
why do you think they say that?
Have you seen your typical arty person? So you'll get people that are just like so out there, eccentrics. They might wear like two different shoes and a lampshade on their head or something. Crazy. So I'll just walk like just be myself, but I stand out like a sore thumb.
I hear you. Yeah. I hear that, man.
It's like in a room full of eccentrics, I say, the eccentric's not an eccentric anymore.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So then where does your passion for art come from then? Where does that stem from?
Do you know something? I think it's always been inside me a bit, but I never took it up till later on in life at all. So when I was a kid, we used to I wouldn't mind looking in an art gallery and looking at paintings. I'd admire it and I admire the skill and things, but I never thought I could do it myself. So yeah, it wasn't while quite late on in life that I ended up finding paint myself.
And when you say late on, what are we talking like?
The prison. Yeah,
okay.
That's when I first picked a paintbrush up was in prison, yeah.
What led to that?
The first time I remember seeing an art class was I was in Whitemore and I was just looking through the window and there's some amazing talent in prison, what people just don't get to see. And I looked at some paintings, they were brilliant, and I thought, I can't go in there. I'll just make a sort of fool of myself, So I didn't have the bottle, to be honest, to get put in the art class. And it's at a later sentence where I more or less got put in, not on my own accord, but yeah, I just took to it then.
That's good. Yeah. That's interesting, really interesting. But we'll dive into that a bit later.
Right.
So you went to the art class. What made you actually take that leap?
I didn't take the leaf. I got a push, you could say. When you stood at the edge, somebody's come behind me and shoved me. It was one of the admin staff.
Okay.
But being in sports science, I always like my training, keeping looking after myself. So I thought, do this sports science class. Did this, and it was a good group of lads in there. Where you get a group and everyone gels good. So it was a good group, and it finished. And one of the staff says, "Right, you're going there, and there was three of us. When you three are going in art class." So you waiting with other people, they come don't want arty people at all. So I didn't feel so bad, going in there. Yeah.
when you were younger, you said you always had art like in you. Did you
Just because I had that interest.
But did you ever like, I don't know, practice art, whatever?
No, not really. Just I think odd thing like at school, you know, no different, but never took up.
So when you got pushed into this class, what were your thoughts and how were you feeling?
Not so bad then, because I was with two other people that, you know, weren't arty at all. But as soon as I picked a paintbrush, I remember an art teacher, I just did a little drawing. As it goes, it was a London, you know, skyscape type thing.
Okay.
And he said, I could see you've got a little bit of talent there. But I won't say I was particularly good, to be honest, at start, you know, when I look at some of my early stuff. But it's just enjoying it. That's the main thing.
But then, clearly there must have been something there for the teacher to say, hey, you know what I mean? Like, this is quite good or what?
He probably had more confidence in me than I had in myself. Yeah.
What kept you engaged?
Just enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
just enjoyed doing
it. But you didn't necessarily think you were great, you just enjoyed doing
special.
it?
No. I did get that in my head though, that I was going to improve myself. I remember seeing Malifa doing this Botticelli painting. He was doing it with pastels. He was brilliant, you know. And I just thought to myself, one day I'm going to be as good as you are. I'm going to get myself to that level.
Wow. So, what did art do for you in prison then?
Past escapism. Yeah, past the time. It's like I used to say to anyone after, like I'd done quite a bit of time myself, do anything that takes your head out of there. And if you're painting, so I could be painting at home, I could be on a tropical beach, I could be in a prison cell. Does it matter? Your head's in that painting. You're in the same place. It don't matter about your external surroundings. So yeah, it just takes you away from there.
And the things that you were painting then, are they the same kind of stuff that you do now?
No, not as much. I think I used to copy a lot of paintings at first. I'd look through art books and like see, and which was good because I started learning a bit about art history then as well. So I just copy old paintings. That took me thoughts really. Yeah.
What were your most favourite things to paint while you were inside?
I couldn't say really, because I've had that wide, you know, range of subject matters. I just like painting full stop, and it's similar now because I tutor art now and again, and when people say they don't know what to paint, they've got no inspiration, I say just paint whatever in front of you. So if it was you, I'd say paint that then. You know, pick a paintbrush up, and because I find that inspiration, I always say to people, don't look for it, let it come to you. And I get my inspiration when I'm painting.
So during the piece.
So yeah. So like you've seen my trainer pieces.
Yeah.
They evolved from like prison. I just got an old pair of boots that was in the art class, just for a practice. I painted them, and then I started painting other footwear, and then I started adding bits, and then I started telling stories, and it evolved from just a study of some old boots.
That's a good shout. Sometimes let the inspiration come to you.
I was going to say, so, but start, like you say your inspiration comes whilst you're painting.
Yeah.
But you should, if you haven't got that, you should like paint something.
Just anything, yeah. Because you find when you paint, you get into like a zone, do you know, and I can lose all track of time. I've been at it like 8 hours. I'll be in that zone, and then it's been like, say, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'll stop painting and think, I'll put things away and look, it'll be 8 o'clock at night. I think I've just been stood there like 9 hours, like painting away, just lost.
Could you do it in your cell? Or was it?
Yeah.
You've mentioned prison, obviously, but let's like get into it a little bit more. Tell us about how many times you've been to prison and like the sentences you served and what they were for.
Right, yeah. All drug offences. I've been to prison 4 times now. So I did 2 4-year sentences, a 2.5-year sentence, and a 13.5-year sentence.
What is that total? Like,
24 years, I think, you know, yeah.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And when was the first time you went in?
1996.
Okay.
And how old were you when you were released?
The
last time?
The last time, what was it? Will it have been 47? Yeah.
Okay.
So you went in quite
48.
young, I'm guessing. The first time.
Yeah. I'll have been about 24 then, maybe. Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that sentence. What was that like?
Shocked at system because it was just a small. But I had a bad drug addiction then.
Okay.
And that's it. That's basically what got me in there. But it was only for a small amount, 2 grams. I got a 4-year sentence.
2 grams.
I mean, nowadays
Sorry.
you won't get a sentence.
Sorry,
I
that's
thought it
a
was
bit mad.
more lenient back in
Back
in the day.
was worse.
Wow.
Yeah. Because nowadays they'd say, like, with you being a drug user, you're doing it obviously to fund your habit and blah, blah, and you
Okay,
probably
yeah.
wouldn't have got a custodial, probably got a drug treatment order.
A DRR, something that they used to be called.
I mean, I remember the judge saying he was going to give me 6 years, and it gave me, the third off my guilty plea.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you're entering the system with a drug addiction. Drug addiction. What was that like for you? Did you get support whilst you were in there?
None at all. That's how it was in them days. Yeah, not as much as paracetamol. Just get in that cell and sweat it out of you.
That's it.
So,
That must have been quite tough.
Yeah. I had quite a heavy addiction as well. So yeah, it was a rough ride, but thankful for it, to be honest.
Okay.
In this, because give me that option. Do you know, like, because I never used drugs again after that.
After that
was it. That stopped. Yeah, and it gave me that option where if I'd have come out, I see, like, nowadays people they give them methadone and things like that, don't they? And they're getting out with an habit where, and I know it's like a double-edged sword, because some people, like, overdose, go back to using again, and that's it. That's the idea behind it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But at the same time, a lot of people got out clean, never used again. You had that option, I think, then.
But just that experience of basically going cold turkey, sweating it out.
Yeah.
That experience in itself must be so tough.
Definitely, but I'd have preferred it that way as well. Okay. Not at the time, obviously. There's no way you would at the time. But when you think back in hindsight, there's a lot of good things come out of adversity. That's how you better yourself as a person, I think. Like them tough parts of your life. So it's... A friend said to me recently, he says, your life is mad. He says, you're either down there or you're up there. He says, it's just been constantly like this, where mine's just been, a straight level.
Did you want to stop the drugs when you went into prison? Was you thinking about that?
Yeah, but just addiction, couldn't beat it. It was probably the biggest achievement I've done that. Everything I've achieved in my life, I'd say that's my best achievement.
Well done.
A lot of people won't understand that, that's not been through it. But when they see how hard it is, and look how many people try it and can't do it. So I think you've achieved something millions of people can't do.
Yeah, no.
I think that's so powerful. It shows how hard it is for people.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd have maximum respect to anybody that can beat that without a shadow of a doubt. I think if they can do that, imagine what else they can achieve.
Many more things, without a doubt. No, big respect to that, without a doubt. So then, when did your relationship with drugs begin? Then, how did that start?
Honestly, like coming out of military, I think I had an odd little bit of smoke of weed, and never really took to it. It's not until I got into the rave scene, took a pill, and that was it. Just went head first. Then
acid house.
Into all them days. Yeah.
And that like started your addiction.
So from that, and then using hard drugs, because hard drugs won't like it is today. So you didn't really see end product. Okay. You know what I mean? So there was no like warning.
You didn't know where it could end up.
Yeah. You just heard all these myths and things, but you never really saw it with your own eyes. So you didn't know what was getting into. I remember similar, when the spice come out, a lot of people got tricked with that, didn't they? Thinking it was just synthetic cannabis and not realising how bad it was. Yeah. So very similar to that.
Did you know that it was like becoming a problem? Did you feel that kind of?
Yeah. Like a few times I was like on and off it type of things.
Okay. So you tried?
Sorry?
You were trying?
Yeah.
But it was just too hard.
It's that mental addiction as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the toughest bit.
Yeah. So it's a weird thing. It's like being possessed. You're not yourself. Yeah.
So obviously you said this about when you left the army. So you joined the army quite young.
I joined the army young, yeah. I left school early with no qualifications. Got a job for a little bit, and then 17, so I just made adult soldier. A few months that I'd have been a junior. Okay. So yeah, I was like youngest in my squad.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your squadron like?
I was 1st Royal Tank Regiment. Yeah.
And where'd you serve?
Started off in UK, and then most of the time in Germany. Went a couple of stints in Canada and Northern Ireland. Yeah.
So that's quite travel. That's quite well travelled. That's not bad, isn't it? When you're quite young, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get to see that.
That was one of the things. It was a bit like army was seen as a bit of escapism then. I mean, like nowadays I've got problems with recruitment. Nobody wants to join, do they?
Yeah.
It was different then for people. It was like a way out, do you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people like from them type of backgrounds, it was a good way to escape, really. Yeah.
What were you escaping?
Just like your only things, your aspirations. You had your born in a council estate. It was like a dead end job, you know, and a lot of unemployment in a lot of places, especially up north. So it was like, what options you got?
No,
Yeah. And especially young, you want that little bit of excitement, don't you? You want to do so much, you know. So you've got that drive, but when there's no opportunities, not to release that, then army, it can be appealing. Then
opportunity is definitely important.
And then you've got different struggles with the army and different challenges to face. But I can see why it is appealing.
Yeah.
So you've gone in at a young age. You've gone into prison as a young man, and obviously you've gone in as an adult in your adult years. Talk to me about the difference between those different stints, like in terms of what the system was like.
Oh, completely changed every time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really crazy. Every time you go into prison, not like the law changed and prison itself changed. First time I went in, like your locals, it was just bang up. I think you just get association, something like every 3-4 days.
Wow. So it's just riding bang up, basically.
23
Jobs.
hours a day, banged up, and that was it. They'd let like ones out on association, then twos would be next day, threes would be next.
Okay, and it rotates like that.
What about work and stuff like that?
Not much. He was in cell a lot.
Wow.
And,
That's interesting, isn't it?
Was it slop out them times?
It's Summit Wings in Army was still slop out then,
Okay.
It was half and half, that prison then. Yeah,
Wow. And so that's the 90s.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the noughties then, like when you're in the 2000s, what that was
I
like.
went back in, so I released 99,
Yeah.
and then I was back, I found myself back in there 2003, and that was different because with TVs.
Oh, TVs come in.
Yeah, so I've then gone into a cell where it was unlocked every day, TVs. I thought, well, this is not as bad as last time, like, you know.
So whilst you're, in your last sentence, when was it that you kind of realised that this is not the way you want to go and how you want to live your life?
The last sentence I did was a four year, and that's what, I made my mind up then. So I did a 13.5 year sentence before that, but I still come out. I didn't want to, I'd got well deep into like crime then, could say organised crime. Things grew, as it went along.
It progressed as it does,
Yeah. So in the drug business, hell of a lot different from when I first started street dealing, and when it come to end of that 13.5 year sentence, I didn't want to get as delved in as deep as I was, and I knew like another like sentence for Class A, I'd have been doing 20 odd.
Yeah, they throw the book at you.
Stage of my life as well, with that age, you've finished. You're getting out an old man, and it's you ain't got it in you no more. So I was just doing like Class B, and then not even on a big scale as well, really. But I got another sentence then, but on that, in between then I had my daughter.
Okay.
So I never ever wanted kids, but she come along, and that was just made a big change. And quite a lot of things come all together where I just thought, nah, enough's enough now.
What else was it? You had your daughter. What else was it then?
Some mad things, more of a meaning to life.
Okay.
I mean, I educated myself a lot when I did the 13.5. I studied then. I didn't quite finish my bachelor's, was more or less on I had one more module to do.
Okay, to complete that.
Yeah,
what was
yeah.
What were you studying?
Social science.
Okay.
But I was, after that first sentence I did, 4 years, I just become an avid reader. All I did, library was a massive thing then. So all you could do in yourself was read. And I spent quite a bit of time in the seg. And so I'd just be reading quite a lot.
Yeah, if you're in the block, that's the best thing to do.
So, some of the books you read as well, crap, aren't they? But you still read it.
Yeah.
So I found when I come out from that sentence, I'd be sat at home reading. I just got into that habit.
Great.
Yeah. So if someone had no education, then I started reading like deeper things, a lot of philosophy and stuff. So I educated myself a lot while I was away. So when you educate yourself as well, that opens your mind up a lot different. You have a lot of different outlook on life. So, and especially like type of things I'd read, real deep, meaningful books. Then just a more of a meaning to life as well. you know, like God. I was quite an atheist before. I didn't believe in anything, and then I started believing quite a lot more about things. So yeah, that come into it, and with my daughter as well. All these things sort of like come together at the same time, and that's when I just thought, nah, I've got to make different changes in my life, you know. So all the way through that 4-year sentence, I'd already made my mind up.
Wow.
You know?
So
yeah.
Were you a bit frustrated that you had to go in then to? Were you like ready to make a difference in your life? And then
I started. It's not been like a flashbang moment where it was all these things. It's sort of a gradual process. That's one, yeah.
Okay, so when did you know that you wanted to kind of pursue art as a career?
I didn't.
How did this come about
then? That's where like a life path opens up. I just enjoyed it. Just enjoyed doing it. And when I come out, I finished my bachelor's when I did that 4-year sentence. I ended up getting a first as well. So
one more time, please. I'd like to say this again, please.
Yeah, I scored a first.
Correct.
Congratulations.
I love that.
That's amazing.
I love that. Yeah, congratulations.
And do you know something I felt like, because in prison it's hard to do. Do you know, where people think, oh, you've got all that time studying. Nah, I mean, just with the noise levels, you haven't got access to materials. You know, you've not got a computer, so you've got everything against you. You know, so to achieve that it felt like I was swimming against the tide. It felt it was a bit better.
No, definitely. There was a guy that I was opposite with. He was my opposite, and I used to walk past his room. This was in the DCAT. I used to walk past his room like at 2 a.m, and he's at his desk writing his essay to send him to the OU.
Because it's funny enough, I used to do mine late hours, you know, because all noise levels go down. Yeah. So, but sometimes you'd be tired, you know. Like,
And when he graduated, I was like, I'm so proud because I know what you used to do. Yeah. So I respect it highly, you know what I mean? Highly. Yeah.
So, sorry, can you continue talking to us about how you made this a career? How did it come about?
Was, I thought only way I'm going to get any type of employment that's half decent, you know, is going to be obviously somewhat type in justice system, you know, where I can use lived experience, because I know what it's like. So I thought the only way is like if I do that type of work where it'll be an advantage. And I thought best place to signpost me for that will be university. You know, doing masters, criminology, and then I thought while I'm there, there'll be somebody that'll be able to signpost me into some type of work. That was my plan.
And that sounds like a good plan. Yeah.
So I went to Leeds Uni, applied there. They've got a good criminology department apparently, so I got accepted. So I was buzzing for that, ready to start my masters. COVID,
lockdown.
Course got cancelled, and it was just like every time, you know, like no ever goes to plan, something's always thrown in your way. So that happened, but then a few things just seemed to open up with the art with us.
Like what?
I mean, when I was away, I got a bronze on the Kessler Awards. I think that was 2000 on painting category. So that was like something.
Yeah, big up Kessler. Yeah, Kessler. I always say Kessler. Big up yourself.
And, it's when I was with Care After Combat, and I started donating a few paintings to them. I mean, they used to come in like monthly forums in the prison, and one of the guys there, we end up being good friends now. He just said, "What are you doing here?" I just paint all day. I was in the art class then, so he said, "Bring some of your stuff down, you know, next month, and we'll have a look." And he was admiring it, saying, "Wow, it's like good stuff." This, so I said, "Listen, take some. If you like sell them for your charity, you know, help yourselves." And they ended up selling, you know. Yeah,
decent money.
Yeah. Surprised me. That's when I thought maybe, you know, So
that would motivate me. What, my paintings are selling? All right, cool. Start paying for some money. Yeah, that's what I would do anyway. Yeah,
but yeah, I've seen like it's not so bothered. Do you know, like with prices? I mean, they get like 4-figure sums now, and I remember like at first it started like £200-300.
Yeah.
And when it went into like the thousands, it is. Bit of a buzz, but not so much, because I know when somebody's paid that for painting, it's not going to end up in a skip at end of street. Do you know?
Yeah.
That's going to outlive me.
Yeah.
And it's like you've left your little mark on this world then. Yeah. So
just before we move on, I wanted to ask you what it's like actually dealing with having been in prison for so long. What does that take a toll? Like how does that mentally affect you?
Yeah, it did myself with art. I don't mind saying that. But you don't notice things in yourself. So I found, especially because I always used in later sense, you just wanted a single cell all the time.
Yeah.
Like most people. And then when you're spending a lot of time by yourself, you get out and you become accustomed to that. So that's exactly what I was like when I got out. And it put a lot of strain on that with like relationships and things. I've been like with a girlfriend, I go downstairs and keep on the couch. And like, you try explaining that to a woman, you're saying it's not you, it's me.
No,
I
get that. I get that.
They take it the wrong way, don't they? But it's it's otherwise that. I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep around people. Really weird.
No, it's not weird, man. It's not weird. It's what prison does to you, especially if you've done a considerable amount of time.
I remember an old friend saying to me, he said, when you come out that big sentence, you realise you have to have them times to yourself.
Listen, I didn't do as long as you. I did about 9 years behind the door. Yeah, even to this day, sometimes I need time to myself.
Yeah.
Like I just need my own alone time.
Yeah.
It's just a thing, innit?
Yeah,
I don't think it's weird. It's just
No, I feel the same, and mine was much shorter than both of yours.
Right.
So, having done a long sentence, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your art helps you with dealing with these kind of emotions out here?
Yeah, I think that prepared me for art because I think being an artist can be quite lonely. Do you know what? Like I said earlier, when you spend hours painting by yourself, some people probably can cope with that, but that's probably like trained me up to doing that in its own way.
Yeah,
you know, like
that sounds therapeutic to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, yes.
Yeah,
because you have to you're with yourself, innit? You have to
with
enjoy
yourself.
your
But
own.
imagine that you're creating something at that time as well.
Yeah.
Where you're by yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's.
Thank you for sharing that.
Innit? Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. Like just talking about spending hours at a time with yourself and you're painting. Like, what does it feel like in the moment when you're creating a piece?
The zone. Yeah. Sometimes it can take you a little while to get there. So you start painting, it might be an hour, where the things are going through your head, and then when you've got in that zone, it's where all the magic happens. You there. It's hard to explain, but you just become fixated in that painting. Then nothing. World War III could break out, and it don't matter. Do you know? And that's, I think, when you really find the inspiration when you're in that place. Everything just comes together. Yeah.
There's a piece I wanted to get into, and this is the piece right now. So for those that are just listening and not seeing this, it's a Coke bottle, like an old school classic Coca-Cola bottle with a knuckle duster to one side, a silver one, and then a golden knuckle duster leaning up against it. For me, it's gripping because the knuckle duster almost seems, the one that's leaning against the Coke bottle, almost seems like you could reach in and grab it. The detail, really vibrant, really, really realistic. Yeah. Talk to us a bit more. Explain why you picked these objects to paint.
Me personally, I think three good things. This is my own personal opinion, so I won't say no major art critic or anything. But if you can have a good concept behind a painting, something that you can talk about, that it's skillfully executed, it's quite well painted, and third of all, it's cool to look at. Yeah. So if you got them three things in a painting, I think you pretty much
that's the combo.
Cracked it. Yeah. So idea with that, a lot of people have seen these and they think it's like pro-crime, when they see the Knuckle Dusters and things. And I use different objects, different meanings behind stuff. So knuckle dusting, this would be like forces. It does give a reference to my criminal past, the criminal past of the artist. But with a force, and it's Coke bottles, when you see in my paintings, it's consumerism. So it's the forces of consumerism, and they're where the Knuckle Dusters come back into it now. It's like everything's commodified. Do you remember that little chat we had earlier and we said we pay for the air? Yeah. Well, they've even like commodify violence, don't they? Because you think what a lot of films you watch, and it's sort of like glorified, and it's there to entice people, and it's all for money at the end of the day. Boxing, UFC. So exactly. But even just a lot of Bollywood. So it's where they've even commodified that in a sense. So that was my idea behind that. Not just like Van said, just how everything becomes a commodity now,
The detail is amazing.
Well, the have a Coke and a smile. That was an old Coca-Cola slogan. Some of me titles for paintings, there might be a little tongue in cheek, or have double entendres or whatever. But yeah, sometimes I can be a bit cheeky with some of the titles.
And this one's called
Have a Coke and a Smile.
Coke and a Smile.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into another piece.
This one's my favourite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is it your favourite, Jules?
I just think the trainers look amazing. They're just wicked. Again, realistic. So we've got trainers, we've got like a chain, but a clock chain running over it, a rose, a card, and handcuffs. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Again, you've made it that. Is it 3D? Are we talking 3D shape, like style, where you've got like it at the front?
That perspective.
Yeah. You've got that like really, 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 really well. Look how the green, the stems are going through the handcuffs. Yeah. And I just think it looks really, really good.
To be honest, the picture don't do it a lot of justice. If you saw the painting, it's a lot better.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a big painting as well. I think it's about 5 foot long.
Wow. Yeah, that would definitely have an impression.
Yeah.
And for anybody listening or watching, please check out these paintings.
Yeah.
Where can they check them out, Kevin?
On my Instagram, I've got a website as well. But on my Instagram has most of them. So that's Kevin Devonport Fine Art. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The pocket watch.
Yeah. I mean, this painting itself, it's part of a series. It's called the Tarot series. So I use a different card for each one. And the trainers represent myself and the movement through life. And
I love that.
In it.
The little pocket watch, I mean, and the handcuffs, they're quite often objects that I use as well. But it's captured that moments in time. And it's just like, something we all experience, love at one time or another in our life. Yeah.
Wow,
I've done quite a few cards. It's going to be like a career-long project where every now and again I'll do one of these cards. And
in the series, yeah.
Because the tarot, it's a good little set of art itself, because all the human experiences are all in that deck of cards.
Okay.
Something we all experience.
So it's got a lot of subject matters for you to paint.
Yeah, what everybody can relate to in their life. I think with my own life journey, it makes me a better artist in a sense, because experience life. I mean, what artist? You have that perspective on life. Everybody has their own perspective. But if you, I'm a lot different than your average artist because of my trajectory.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm going to see things in a lot different way. So.
And just going back to the conversation about how your art progressed out here and how your career started to progress, what kind of happened after those first few little moments?
Do you know something? I think I saw something on Instagram, and it was Assembly House where I've got studios now. Seeing that I'd just come out of prison, it invited me down on a residency. So I let me paint down there for a few while. So it's like a little artist commune there. I think now it's grown since I've been there 5 years now, almost. And it's grown. It must be, I think there's close to 70 artists there now, which, so I've seen it like grow. And same again, when they'd opened the new space up, I got like first dibs on a studio space there. And then a few other little things happened. I think, I got a bursary off the Tetley in Leeds. They give me £1,000 to do a painting, and then sold a few paintings, started exhibiting more, and things just took off. Something that not what I expected at all. So it was just like a path opening up and walking down it, not like something that I'd planned out.
How important was it to get that bursary? Like how important was that support?
Oh, that was really good. Yeah. I say quite things just seemed to happen a lot more from there as well. It got us out there quite a bit, so it was quite good, because they put quite a lot on the socials and that about that, and it gives that bit of exposure. Then I got quite a bit of press coverage and stuff with some of the charity work I was doing. Yeah, and it just like one thing after another, it like snowballed.
So would you call yourself like a freelancer with art? Is that how it works?
You could say, yeah, because I'm not really working for anyone, but yeah. Yeah, I'd say a professional artist. Yeah,
I've never really understood like how it works in the art industry.
I don't myself. I still don't. I remember asking the same question when I went to assembly, and people says, "I've been around this for years. I still don't know."
Interesting. Well, at least there's a reason why I don't understand.
Yeah.
No, but that's good though, because you got you're basically carving your own.
Navigating the art
That's
world is crazy. It's a crazy, crazy place. Yeah.
What makes it crazy?
Do you know, I think it's just this era we're in. Do you know, like if you say, like the art world, it's always a reflection of the society it comes out of. Well, you look at a lot of the art world now and it's just mad in it. So it just speaks a lot of this time, I think, you know.
Yeah, because I no disrespect to any artist, but I saw some things like, you know, someone like throwing paint on a canvas, and like, or doing it live, and that's obviously I don't understand some conceptions, but like art's very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like there's different levels to it, innit?
Yeah.
I think there's a people from what I've come across like blagging it as well.
I hear you.
You know, like if you come up from our type of background and you've been to prison, you know, so you know when someone's trying to scam you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can't kid a kidder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like when you go into this world and like people are just talking like a lot of rubbish, to be honest, it's like, hang on, you know. My fault with them.
Yeah,
You've been fooling me.
Yeah, I hear you.
What artists give you inspiration?
What artists give me inspiration?
If any.
I won't say like inspiration as much because I can't see none of my work in there, you know, in theirs. But I like the old, like Caravaggio, Renaissance bit. I mean, Baroque with Renaissance, all them time. I just appreciate the skill, and of that time, it was they had nothing. So you imagine like the tools they've got, the paints you had. They'd have been working under candlelight. Because I've seen like a painting when you go in, you know, when you paint it under yellow light and you get it outside and it looks different. So the way they painted under them conditions, and imagine like Michelangelo, the big sculpture of David, he did, like somebody's quarried that marble, had to get it to a studio. Don't think they'd have been happy if he'd have messed it up, would they? You know, so
bring me another marble, I need another book.
I've seen the size of it. So like imagine all the pressure, and he's just doing that with a chisel. It's just unbelievable. And how can you not appreciate that skill? Well, we'd have power tools and everything to do with that these days, and I still probably couldn't do it, do you know?
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like the gifts of like back then, the skill was different levels, man.
Yeah.
Like you got like old carvings in mountains and things like that. Like it's incredible, yeah.
I mean, a lot of like I think conceptual art, people are just losing that appreciation for that, and it's all become about the concept and not the art.
Yeah.
And I think if it's all just about the concept, then study philosophy then. You know,
I hear you.
It's got to be. It's all right to me. Having the idea is just the seed, the beginning. Then it's like being able to produce that idea. Do you know, being that's where the mastery comes in. Do you know? So we can all have different ideas, can't we? That's just like the very, very beginning to me, not the end. You know, where a lot of artists see it as that. Yeah.
So that you mentioned about the charity work, like so what else do you do? Do you still do charity work within the arts as well?
From when things started picking up as an artist, and I started working with offenders as well.
Okay.
That was part of Inspire North group. So I was tutoring art and doing a few other little things. Ran a boxing group with them.
Okay.
Used to do disclosure sessions, you know, for like people.
Going into work.
Yeah. Best advice given how to come, you know, disclosing a criminal record and like doing disclosure statements and stuff. Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, when you were released and you were into your art, were there anything that you had to any challenges that you had to face to continue on this path?
With the art?
Outside of the art.
Sometimes it can be like swimming against the tide with things. Because people have that fixed ideas in their head, you know, where a good example recently, it was last year, I did, or was it the year before? I ran an exhibition for a lot of prisons around in Yorkshire. I called it Unlabelled, just to get to people see a different side of them. You know, like a criminal record.
Yeah.
So some person that's not ever been around that, they think that just defines a person. People are more complex than that. There's no people that are completely good and there's no people that are completely bad. We've all got different aspects
Yeah.
good and bad.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about Unlabeled.
Unlabeled, yeah. So we did a lot of, it was to get people to see different parts, you know, of themselves. A good example where people I get it a lot, saying you don't look like an artist, don't expect me to be an artist. You know, yeah, it might be a bit rough at the edges or type of things. And I think there's a big class difference in the arts, probably because people from a better class background, they get exposed to it more at a young age, you know, where if you're on a council estate, we don't get exposed to them type of things. So it's just more of a lack of opportunities, really. Yeah, I just wanted to break them barriers down a bit. Yeah.
Did you have people like, I don't know, people trying to drag you back to the old life, or like, did you have like some sort of like like, where did you find yourself? What kind of, like, where did you find yourself? What was your community?
The last prison sentence I had, obviously, because you go to prison and there's people, and we get out, we do this, we do that, and that's when I was saying, nah, I'm done. I'm finished with it. So people pretty much accepted it, to be honest. Remember a friend calling me when I go out and says, "Oh, someone I want you to meet." I went, "Nah, I'm done with all that." And he wasn't registering in his head. He was going, yeah, I know you need to take a bit more of a back seat these days. You've had a lot of unlock. And I went, no, I said, I'm not taking a back seat. I'm done.
Yeah.
And he actually phoned me back 10 minutes later and went, "Are you serious?" No, before he just registered in his head, I went, "Yeah, I'm dead serious." Yeah. But then he went, like, "Fair enough, good luck." You know, all right, good luck. If that's what you want to do, then you're going straight now. So he just went, fair play.
I love that.
Yeah.
So then did you meet more, how did you build like this new community for yourself of friends and the people that you actually want to be around now?
That's difficult, I'd say, because you've got to cut a lot of people out of your life. And even like you see them as friends, you know, it's still like we're in different worlds nowadays. So, yeah, I think that probably one of the hardest things. But yeah, it gives me that new sense. I can say I'm an artist now. You know, before it was on about that label, before I was a criminal. And then when you're coming out of that into the normal world, you get that rejection. You know, so I think where I go from a world where I've got trust, and then I go out into a wild world, and you can't be trusted. You're in that. So it's the message we get in rehabilitation is, you know, you go straight, you go into the normal world, but then you start finding normal world much to reject you. Yeah.
How'd you deal with that then?
I was lucky. I think I've just been fortunate, you know, beside my art to fall on, where things started opening up for me on that. And that helps me a lot. Yeah, give me that new sense of self identity.
Yeah, talking about identity, what does art do for you now then? Like you told us earlier what it did for you inside, but what does it do for you now?
More or less the same. Do you know, it's like moments of just freedom. Yeah. That's why I really think you do feel free in yourself when I'm painting. Yeah. So it's no different, like I say, when I'm inside there, because when my head's in that painting, I could be in a prison cell. Don't really matter. My thought is not about that.
That's amazing because it just shows that, you know, you're doing something that you're passionate about, and that gives, like, you're clearly loving what you do, and that's the real freedom. Not whether you're in prison or out of prison. It's what you're doing and how you feel about that. That was really powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Kevin, you've mentioned a few organisations earlier in the episode. Would you mind recapping those and, of course, giving us any other organisations you want to shout out on today's episode?
So, I'm an ambassador now for Care After Combat. They deal with veterans solely in justice system. You had lots of veteran charities, but seems to be veterans that are locked up in justice systems who have been forgotten about. But they cover nearly every prison in the UK now, and they've grown from strength to strength. But it's a good charity because it does what it says on the tin. Veterans Network, I've had so much support with that with my art. It's beyond belief, you know. So it's like a brotherhood in itself. So, yeah, it's a really good charity. I worked part of Inspire North Group when I was with Community Links. And that was, I mean, they do all kinds of different work. But my specific role in that was working with people on prison licence or in justice system, again, so either probation or community orders. And then I've worked recently with Changing Lives, and that's helping people into employment. Just anybody in the community that needs whatever barriers they've got that stops them getting into employment. But Changing Lives mainly works from a charity in North East. They work mainly with homelessness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. We're also going to add one, which is Addiction North East. So they provide supported housing to those who feel unable to live alone due to addiction or behavioural issues. And we'll put all of these organisations in the show notes so you can check them out there.
Yeah, and what we like to do is we like to ask you guys to get involved in the conversation and get involved in the discussion and add your 2 pence in. So we asked you guys on our social media, did you do anything in prison that you would have never imagined yourself doing? Yeah. And a couple of the responses I'm going to share with you are, someone said making soaps in prison.
Yeah, interesting.
Interested? Something you never think you'd do. Someone else said, retaking my maths and English and smashing it.
Love that.
Innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? Did you guys do anything in prison that you never would have thought you would have done?
Yes. I did knit for a bit. Yeah. Didn't
Just
last
what
long.
I've mentioned. I never thought I'd have studied and got a degree. I never thought I'd have ended up being an artist, taking all that up. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love
So
that.
if I wouldn't have gone to prison, I wouldn't have pursued those without a doubt.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, we love you guys getting in touch with us. So please keep that coming. Instagram and X is @AfterPrisonPod. TikTok is Life After Prison Pod. Email us at podcast@prison.radio. And if you're listening inside, we will give you the number you can contact us on at the end of the show.
Yeah. So Kev, appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out to join us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, Jules, well done.
Well done, Zach.
Thank you all for listening and watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.